They laughed at your tears, ridiculed your silence, and called your pain a weakness. They watched as you struggled, as you fought a battle they could not see, and in their ignorance they mocked you. They couldn't comprehend the depths of the storm raging inside you, the relentless force of emotion, the crushing weight of each moment you endured. They thought it was a sign of your failure, a sign of your fragility, but they didn't understand. No, they couldn't. You weren't broken by that storm. You were forged by it. You were not the victim of the tempest. You were the thunder that shook the earth beneath their feet. You were the storm, rising stronger with every strike, louder with every breath. While they saw weakness, you found the strength to stand tall, to survive, and to become something greater than they could ever imagine. You were drowning in a sea of their indifference, sinking slowly beneath waves of loneliness. Their voices were all around you, but they never reached out, never pulled you from the depths of despair. It felt as though the world passed you by, too busy to notice your fight, too blind to understand your struggle. You were left to fight alone, trapped in a silence that screamed louder than any words. You called out, but no one heard. You reached for help, but there was nothing but emptiness that stared back. The very ones who should have stood by you turned their backs. When you needed them most, they weren't there. Their mockery, their ridicule, was a sharp blade cutting deeper into the wound of abandonment. You were left with nothing but the weight of their judgment, crushing you beneath its force. And in that crushing silence, the darkness closed in, pressing against you from all sides like a suffocating fog. It was thick, heavy, and unrelenting, stealing the very air from your lungs, as if the very world itself wanted to swallow you whole. You could feel the coldness creeping in, tightening around your chest, and for a moment, it felt like you might never see the light again. The pain was raw, sharp, and suffocating. Every breath felt like a struggle. Meanwhile, above you, they stood, basking in their supposed superiority, laughing at what they couldn't see, your fight, your battle, your strength. They mocked what they couldn't understand, oblivious to the fact that their words were no more than whispers against the hurricane that you were becoming. But let me tell you something. You are not weak because of your pain. No, you are stronger for having carried it. You are not defined by the weight of what you've been through. That weight, that burden, it didn't break you, it built you. You are not the victim of your suffering. You are the victor. The pain they thought would destroy you has, in fact, become the very fuel that will propel you forward. You are stronger now because you survived what should have torn you apart. You are a warrior, and the scars you carry are proof of your strength, not your weakness. Those who mocked you didn't see the fire they were igniting within you. They thought you would crumble, but they didn't realize your pain was never a curse. It was a gift. It sharpened, hardened, and now it makes you unstoppable. They saw the fire in you as a threat, something they feared would consume you, reduce you to ashes. They didn't understand that the fire inside you wasn't there to destroy. It was there to refine. Pain, like fire, can either burn you alive or transform you into something greater. It can either break you down or build you up. They saw the flames of your suffering and thought they would scorch you. But what they failed to see was the power those flames could ignite. What they failed to understand was that fire doesn't just destroy, it purifies, it strengthens, it turns raw material into something unbreakable. That fire within you, it wasn't your end, it was your beginning. The heat you felt was not a punishment, but the force that would shape you into something more powerful than they could ever comprehend. Now, you stand as proof of the life-giving power of pain. The fire that once threatened to consume you has become the very essence of your strength. Like a phoenix, you rose from the ashes they left behind, stronger, sharper, and more dangerous than they could ever have imagined. What they thought would be your end became the beginning of your rebirth. The world saw you fall, saw you suffer, and in their ignorance they thought you would stay down. They thought you would remain broken, buried beneath the weight of your struggles, but they didn't know that in your pain, You were being forged into something invincible. Every ounce of suffering, every moment of despair, became the fuel for your rise. You emerged from the ashes not as the person you were before, but as someone far greater. You were reborn with a strength that was earned, not given. You became more than what they ever expected, more than what they could ever understand. Your pain didn't make you weak. It made you a force that could never be silenced, a power they could never destroy. And now, they are left to watch as you soar higher than they ever thought possible. What they couldn't understand, what they couldn't see, was that your pain was never your weakness. It was your crucible. It was the furnace in which you were tested, tempered, and transformed. The struggles you endured, the battles you fought in silence, were not there to break you. They were there to shape you. Each moment of agony, each tear shed, each sleepless night, they were the forge, and you were the steel. You confronted your pain head-on, not as something to hide from, but as something to learn from, something to grow through. What they failed to see was that your pain was not a sign of defeat. It was the beginning of your evolution. You are not the same person you were before it all. You are no longer the fragile soul they mocked. You are someone who has learned, who has grown stronger with every trial. What they thought would consume you has instead become the foundation of your power. And now, you stand not as someone broken, but as someone reborn, someone whose inner strength is undeniable. You are the result of your own growth, and no one can ever take that from you. What they saw as defeat, you turned into a lesson. You didn't just survive, you learned to thrive. Your pain has given you a unique understanding of the struggles that others face, and now you are in a place where you can lift them up. You have walked through the darkness, felt the weight of the world on your shoulders, and emerged on the other side stronger. Because of that, you are now equipped with the wisdom, the empathy, and the strength to help those who are still trapped in their own suffering. Where others see hopelessness, you see potential. Where others see weakness, you see resilience. Your suffering has transformed you into a beacon of hope, a living example that even the darkest of days can give birth to the brightest of lights. You are now the one who can guide others through their pain, not because you read about it in a book, but because you lived it, you conquered it, and you came out the other side. You've turned your scars into wisdom, your struggles into strength, and now you are a source of power for those who need it most. You walked through the fire. You were scarred, burned, and broken, but those scars are no longer a symbol of your defeat. They are your armor. You are a warrior, battle-hardened and resolute. Every wound you've endured has shaped you, strengthened you, and made you unbreakable. The very things that once threatened to destroy you have now become your greatest weapons. You have faced the worst that life could throw at you, and instead of crumbling, you have emerged stronger than ever before. The fire that tried to consume you has only made you more fierce, more determined. Each scar is a reminder of the battles you've fought, the courage you've shown, and the strength you've gained. Your pain, once a source of vulnerability, is now your shield, your protection. You wear your scars like a badge of honor because they are proof of your resilience, your power, and your unwavering will to fight. You are no longer the person you once were. You are a warrior, and no one can take that from you. They laughed at your suffering. They thought you were weak, that you would never rise from the ashes. They mocked your struggle, believing you would never be able to overcome it. But now, look at them. The tables have turned. The very people who once stood above you, laughing, pointing, and calling you inferior, are now facing their own consequences. The pain they once mocked, the struggles they thought were beneath them, are now the chains that bind them. They are living in the very darkness they once ridiculed you for. They are feeling the weight of their arrogance, and it's crushing them. The world they built on your suffering is crumbling, and they are left to watch as you continue to rise, stronger, sharper, and more powerful than they could ever have imagined. The roles have reversed, and now it is they who must face the reality they tried to deny. Your strength was never your weakness, and your pain was never a curse. You were always the one in control, and now they are forced to watch you claim the victory that was always meant to be yours. You don't need to seek revenge. You don't need to lower yourself to their level. They've already destroyed themselves, and they don't even realize it. The price of their arrogance, the collapse of their own soul. You see, their success was never built on true strength. It was built on the backs of those they mocked, those they stepped on to rise higher. And now their hollow victories are crumbling because they were never built to last. Their power was fleeting, rooted in pride and cruelty. But yours is eternal. Yours is built on the foundation of perseverance, of resilience, of pain that was transformed into power. The more they climb, the harder they fall, for they have no substance to sustain them. You don't need to do anything. They are already living in the consequences of their action. The true power lies in your ability to rise above, to move forward without looking back, to create a future that is yours and yours alone. Revenge is not sweet, it is inevitable, and they will be left to watch as you continue to thrive while their world collapses around them. This is your time, not because you survived their mockery, but because you've learned to rise time and time again. You have weathered the storms, fought the battles, and overcome the darkness that they thought would consume you. But you didn't just survive, you thrived. You didn't just endure, you evolved. Now you stand at the peak of your power, stronger than they could ever have imagined, more formidable than they ever believed you could be. This is your moment to claim what is rightfully yours. You are not the person you were when they first mocked you. You are no longer the broken soul they thought they knew. You are the warrior who has faced the fire, who has emerged unscathed, and now you are unstoppable. The world will no longer define you by their narrow views or their shallow judgments. You are the creator of your own destiny, and nothing can stand in your way. Claim your victory not because they're gone, but because you've transcended them. This is your triumph, your time to shine, your moment to show the world who you truly are. They thought you would fall. They believed that your struggle would be your end. But now, look at you. You stand taller than ever before, a beacon of everything they could never be. While they are left to wallow in the wreckage of their own arrogance, you rise, unstoppable, unbreakable, and fully alive. Your future is no longer clouded with doubt or defined by the shadows of those who mocked you. You have carved your own path, and it is a path of greatness. Imagine a life where you are not just surviving, but thriving, where every step you take is one of purpose, strength, and fulfillment. You are surrounded by the fruits of your labor, relationships built on respect, success born from your own sweat, and a peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you were meant to be. You are not just existing, you are living with the power to shape the world around you. The weight of your past is no longer a burden. It is the foundation of everything you have become. The world sees you now, not as the one who struggled, but as the one who conquered. You are a symbol of resilience, of power, of someone who refused to be broken. Your success is not just about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you are everything they could never imagine, everything you were always meant to be. The future is yours to create, and you will build it with the strength, wisdom, and power that no one can ever take away from you. You were the joke to them, the one they laughed at, the one they thought would never make it, the one they mocked and ridiculed without understanding your true power. They believed your pain was your weakness, that you would crumble beneath the weight of their words. But now, look at you. They've underestimated you, and in doing so, they've given you the very strength you needed to rise above. What was once a source of shame is now your greatest triumph. Your pain, once mocked, has become the very testament to your strength. Now, They will remember your name, etched into their minds as the one they couldn't break, as the one who rose when they thought you would fall. They will remember you not for the pain they tried to mock, but for the power you derived from it. They will remember the fire they failed to extinguish, the spirit they thought they could crush, but instead, the one they turned into an unstoppable force. The last laugh is yours, and it rings louder than any mocking words they ever spoke. You are no longer the joke. You are the victory, the proof that no matter how hard they tried to break you, you always come back stronger. You are never the weak one. You are always the one meant to rise, and now they know it. You are no longer the victim of their mockery. You are the victor. The world will no longer see you as the one they tried to break, the one they thought would crumble under their judgment. No, now the world will see you for who you truly are, the one who rose from the ashes, the one who turned their pain into power, the one who became unstoppable. Your scars are not marks of defeat. They are the symbols of your victory. They are the foundation of the empire you are building, brick by brick, from everything you have learned, everything you've overcome. It's time for you to embrace those scars, to wear them proudly as the badges of honor that they are. They are not signs of weakness. They are the proof of your strength, of your resilience, of your ability to rise every single time you've been knocked down. Let the world see them. Let them witness the power that flows from your every step, because you are not just surviving anymore. You are thriving. You are creating a future built on the very pain they tried to mock. Now take that power, take that strength, and rise. The world is waiting for you to show them what you are made of, and they will know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that your pain was never a weakness. It was the foundation of your empire, and nothing will ever stop you now. Now let them live in the pain they once mocked. You've transcended it. What was once a source of weakness, a burden you carried, has now become your strength, your power, your foundation. While they remain trapped in the consequences of their arrogance, you have risen above it all. You are no longer defined by their judgment, by their mockery, or by the pain they tried to impose on you. You are defined by your strength, your resilience, and the unshakable power that you have built from everything they tried to tear you down with. Let them live in the shadows of their own making, while you stand in the light of your triumph. You've transcended it all, and now you are unstoppable.